If there were some good things that came out of my mom's suicide, at least one of them was this: timing. It happened the first semester of graduate school for me. It's that one single incident alone that led me to study what I studied in graduate school. Some of the stuff that I talked to you about tonight. It's that one single incident alone that leads me to do the work that I do today. It's that I do this work to honor my mom and my little sister, to try to make a better world for the kids that are coming and those of us who are already here. Because I wouldn't feel right about myself if I wasn't a part of trying to make this world a better place. See, fundamentally, this work for me is about caring for other people. And the true measure of whether you're a caring person is not how well you care for your homies and your friends, but how well you care for strangers and outsiders. That is the true measure. It's easy to care for your friends. It's much harder to care for someone you do not know much about. Are you willing to do it, though? Because I imagine more people had been willing to do that when my mom was alive, when my sister was alive, and more people were willing to do that and stand up and be courageous to say to people, hey, you can't do that to that young woman because she's a human being too. She's not some label like immigrant. She's a human being. If more people would have stood up, I'm pretty darn sure my 4 kids would have a grandmother and aunt to live with today. This work is not about numbers for me, how many numbers of these people we have, that people. We create an environment that numbers will come. This work is about caring for other people. Because you don't know which time you put your arm around somebody and say, hey, good job today, keep going. You know which time you said to someone, hey, come to lunch with us. And that's to someone who never gets asked out to lunch. You know which time you said to someone, hey, go to your son's basketball game this afternoon. We got your back. You know which time you did those things that you just prevented a phone call that said, we just found your mom, your brother, your father, your sister. Little things we do impact other people's lives, both positively and negatively. That's kind of a sucky story to leave you with, isn't it? So I can't do that. Poor psychologist. Let me just, can I have 2 more minutes, Deborah? I just want to read you a little story, though. Gives us something happy to think about as we leave. Is this my gun now? This little story I'm going to read is called The Greatest. It's about a little boy practicing baseball all by himself. He's out in the field, he's practicing baseball. What he's doing, he's throwing up the ball, he's trying to hit the ball. So he's practicing hitting. So get a picture in your mind of about a little boy who's practicing hitting all by himself in a field. A little boy in his baseball hat. He stands in the field with his ball and bat. He says, I am the greatest player of them all. He puts his bat on his shoulder and he tosses up this ball. And the ball goes up and the ball comes down. He swings his bat all the way around. The world is so still, you can hear the sound. The baseball falls to the ground. He says, I am the greatest there's ever been. He grits his teeth and he tries it again. And the ball goes up and the ball comes down. He swings his bat all the way around. The world is so still, you can hear the sound. The baseball falls to the ground. He makes no excuses. He shows no fear. He just closes his eyes and listens to the cheer. The little boy, he adjusts his hat. He picks up his ball and he stares at his bat. He says, I am the greatest when the game is on the line. And he gives his all one last time. And the ball goes up like the moon so bright. He swings his bat with all his might. The world is still as still can be. The baseball falls. And that's strike 3. Now it's supper time, and his mama calls, The little boy starts home with his bat and ball. He says, I am the greatest. That is understood. But even I didn't know I could pitch that good. Because it's about a little boy who's able to reframe the situation, to see it from a different perspective. He starts out as the batter, but after a little while, that doesn't look too good, right? But he has the presence of mind to also say, hey, in this situation, I can be the pitcher too. And when he turns himself into the pitcher, sees it from a different perspective, from a different framework, things are much better. Oftentimes when we run into hurdles, problems, situations in our life, sometimes the solution is right there. We can just change our perspective. My challenge to you is to go out and change your perspective. And perspectives come from experiences. Go out and do different things. Encounter different people. Do this work about caring for other people, but also recognize when you care for other people, it's going to be very hard. It's going to consume a lot of energy. When I do this work, sometimes I get really tired. Sometimes I want to quit. Why? Because sometimes I run into people that I call knuckleheads. Knuckleheads are very close-minded. People can't see beyond their own comfort zone and their own perspectives. It's not usually one knucklehead, it's usually a bunch of knuckleheads in a room. And sometimes I want to quit, but when I can feel that I want to quit, I remember my mom and my little sister and why I do this work. And then I leave you with this. Something my mom taught me that I remember when I'm tired. A little Chinese proverb that says, tall trees face strong winds. Tall trees face strong winds, she would say to me over and over. As growing up, I never really knew what she meant. Tall trees, strong winds, what does that mean? I didn't know. But now I know. What she was telling me was this. Long. Stand as a tall tree against the strong winds of injustice. I challenge you to stand against the winds of injustice. But also recognize when you stand against the strong winds of injustice, you're going to get tired. When you get tired and you want to quit, remember this, that other tall trees are standing right next to you. You may not see them, but they are there. And one of them is me. And together, hand in hand, we can withstand any wind of injustice. Thank you for your time. Whoa.